If you feel like something is off with your body, listen. I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today about my retirement, and I don't really have any real points to make, but I did want to share why I'm on YouTube. And yes, I do love to experiment with recipes and share recipes with you guys and make recipes for my family, because growing up in the South, food was just such an important part of how you gather together, right? So that is one reason why. But for those who know me, they know the reason. But for those who don't, I have an autoimmune illness or disease. Medically, it's categorized as disease, and it's called Scleroderma. Now, many people have never heard of Scleroderma, but if I tell you that it's first cousin to lupus, then that will give you an idea of the nature of the illness. One of the reasons I'm speaking out about scleroderma is because it is a rare illness, just like lupus used to be. And now lupus is mainstream. And if you mention lupus, like I said earlier, you pretty much have heard of lupus. And so we're trying to get the word out for scleroderma and for everyone. So let me say that, for everyone who's dealing with scleroderma. But as you know, as being African American, we're already a subset of the population. So therefore, of course, we're going to be even in smaller numbers in those who are dealing with this illness. And so I feel that it's important as an African American female to speak, to help bring awareness to the illness. Why? Why is that significant? Because when we go to the doctor, this illness already shows up so differently in everybody. I'm very thankful and very blessed by God that it has not. How can I say? You know, I'm a church girl. Ain't no way around that. So I'm gonna say it like we say in church. I don't look like. Where all the church folk at? Help me out. I don't look like. Hello, okay? So one of the ways it shows up is with a illness called Raynaud's. Now, Raynaud's affects the feet and the hands, and we're very sensitive to cold. So what is a normal temperature to someone else can cause our fingers and toes to turn blue and go numb. And it is very easy for us to lose digits if we're not careful. And a lot of people with scleroderma have and do lose digits because of the lack of circulation and other things, calcium deposit buildup, tightening of the skin. And I know of one young lady who said that she had her fingers are mostly just collagen now. I did have the tip of my baby pinky amputated, which I thought was just cool. And it was funny because all of the doctors were so worried. And I think it was because I was female. It was like, how am I going to, react with my hand, right? And I was like, I thought it was cool. But, I've always been kind of nerdy like that. So what can I say? This really is just to bring awareness to the illness, and it was because of this illness that I um, was forced to retire early. So with scleroderma, there can be breathing problems, things like that. Very tired, and before I was diagnosed, I remember times where I had to call in sick from work a lot of times. I barely could get out the bed to take my last child, my son, to school. And so I would take him to school and come back home and get in the bed, stay in the bed until it's time to pick him up from school, get up, go pick him up from school, come back, try to fix something to eat and help him the best I could with homework. And then I would be ready to go back to bed, right? Didn't know what was wrong. I just know I was so exhausted and just felt sick. And I remember after being diagnosed, someone asked me, why you didn't say anything that you felt, so bad? And I was like, because there's, when you tell somebody you don't feel good, they ask you what's wrong. I don't feel good. What's wrong, right? And with this illness, there was no specific thing I could just say because I just felt awful. And I went to the doctor. I had issues with my feet, and so they did stuff for my feet. I had issues with my ears. I had issues with my eyes. And even now, you will see I will constantly drink because I struggle with a very dry mouth, especially when I talk. So when I was diagnosed, I went to the doctor because every time I tried to exercise, I would feel like I was going to faint. And so it finally got to the point, and people were well-meaning. They were like, well, you have to breathe right, right, in your nose and out your mouth. All of the advice. And I'm like, I'm doing this, and I'm not feeling right whenever I try to exercise. And I'm also older, and so I thought, well, as you get older, of course, you're going to feel different. As you get older, of course, you're going to have aches and pains, right? I've never been the age that I am before, so how do I know what it feels like to be that age, right? And so, but when that happened, no, I knew that was not normal. That was not okay. So I went to the doctor. I came back, and we were standing outside the exam room talking, and I leaned against the wall, and she looked at the number, and she told me she wanted me to go straight to pulmonology. And so I went to pulmonology, and pulmonology, the guy, he was like, well, okay, well, you just need to exercise, and because if you exercise, you build up stamina, and then you won't feel. I'm like, dude, I came here because I'm telling you when I try to exercise, I feel faint. But you're telling me to go exercise. And so my other doctor that sent me had ordered tests and stuff. And so he said, well, the other doctor ordered these tests and stuff, and when they come back, we'll see what the result is, and just and then I want you to go exercise. Okay, you did not hear me at all, right? And then I went back for my appointment, and when I went into the exam room, he said, well, I think you have something called scleroderma. And so I'm referring you to rheumatology. So what you're saying is, if I just go exercise, it won't fix this? That's what I heard you saying? So rheumatologist, I went for the rheumatology appointment, and the rheumatologist said, yes, I looked at your blood work, you have the antibodies, and you have this illness, and I want to start you on this medication, but I want you to go home and Google it. Really? What? Well, okay. I'm in shock. I'm just like, you just telling me that I have an illness, and I have no idea how it's going to attack my body. It could be fatal. But no matter whether it's fatal or not, there's no cure. And then you tell me to go home and Google it. You guys, we have to advocate for ourselves when it comes to our health. So that's my plea for you. If you take nothing else away from this video today, two things. If you have an illness that is not going to, there's no cure, you need a support system of people that are going through something like you, the same illness or something similar. The second thing is, please advocate for yourselves when you go to the doctor, right? And so that experience was really bad. So I was just kind of like, eventually she gave me another medication. I started taking it and it went from there, but it was just so, I felt like I had just been thrown to the wolves. I was given this diagnosis and there was really no structured follow-up. So I just felt there was no support. And I ended up finding the I forget what is it called, the Scleroderma, the Northern California Scleroderma Foundation or something like that. And it's a board where people with scleroderma post and answer other people's questions. And that's where I found most of my information. And it was interesting because you see how other doctors are treating other people in other areas. I do belong to a Facebook group, which is a scleroderma support group. And if you know someone with scleroderma and they would like to have information on their group, reach out to me, let me know. If you want to reach out to me on Facebook, Sharon second at same name, and I can share with them the name of the support group. It takes a group of people, a large community, so now all types of people are showing up, all types of people with all varied symptoms that now you can find someone that you can relate to, right? And to hear other people's stories. So it's interesting because you find out things that you won't know. You will not know unless you are in a group, a support group, and surrounded by other people that you know have the same illness, but you get to see a variety of care. This is just really to bring awareness. Let me know if you've even heard of scleroderma. Let me know if you know someone who has scleroderma. And if you feel like something is off with your body, listen. Just take care of yourself, because it's rough. It's rough out there. It's rough out here in these here streets. It's really rough. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I love you in Christ. And I hope you enjoyed the recipes on my channel. And as always, thank you very much, and come on back this evening.